Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Divine Independence. See, I'm coming to you from the mobile workstation today. A little late on they published this week as well. Boy, I was, as usual, it's a busy weekend and I just didn't have the energy on Sunday to get after it. And Monday, boy, I'll tell you what, work is an amazing time as usual. That's what happens when you work for a large organization. You just can't fire anybody. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you today about a few things. Biggest one being you've got early voting opportunities Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week. I realize today's Tuesday, so you don't care so much about Monday. But Wednesday, Friday, more voting opportunities, early voting opportunities for you. Unfortunately, the hours are only from 9 to 2. And here in Divine, it's at the community center. You've got them down in Natalia as well. So take advantage of those opportunities. It's a good opportunity to get out there and cast your vote and not have to stand in super long lines on the 4th. But if you can't make it, like myself, because you have this weird thing called work during those hours of 9 to 2. Yeah. So we can't make it to that because we have a JOB. But, if you happen to be able to get a lunch break or skip out here, I work all the way in San Antonio, so that's a good 2 hours of my life if I come out here. And, yeah. But anyway, if you can get to it, get to it. Another thing I want to tell you about is Senate Bill 1. It's still being debated, and there are amendments to it. And I can't find a specific item in the Senate bill, but I'm assured by the county commissioner that it is included in there a 6.2% property tax increase. Yeah, more freaking property tax increases, and that's being levied by the state. The state is requiring it to go up more to fund schools. Schools are mediocre as it is. My 7-year-old has an amazing teacher this year. The rest, my other child, both my other kids, they're okay. They're not bad. They're just, And the school system in general is something to be desired. It's not terrible. It's great for making the soldiers, slaves, and factory workers that the Prussian education model was designed for. However, let's be honest, we really need to see some changes. My 7-year-old, great teacher. However, she's just not a good fit for that model. She needs to be doing more stuff out with her hands. She kind of needs that, it's an older German model where you're outside playing. You're just exploring for the first several years of school. That's all you do is just go outside and explore stuff. You touch the vegetation, you chase bugs, you play with frogs, that sort of thing. And then once you develop enough and realize, I want to learn more, then you go to the books. And my 7-year-old loves reading. She loves learning about animals. She even enjoys doing math, but there's a certain point where it's, I really want to go do stuff with my hands now. And they can't. It's just, that's not how schools are built. You can't be outside. You have to be in a classroom, staring at a board, having a teacher lecture you. It's dumb. It's so dumb. So I'm opposed to any increase in taxes because it's not being spent well. You have these giant administrative buildings, or the Divine School District buying all this acreage for $15,000 an acre, which there's a whole lot of land you can buy for a whole lot less. Granted, none of it's this close to town, but that's stupid. You don't need more school. You don't need more land. You're good right where you're at right now. If you want to buy maybe 5 acres, okay, I get it. You want to just get some adjoining land in case you need to upgrade in a few years and maybe the land is not available. But right now to buy, I think it was like 50 acres. I don't remember. I mentioned it last episode. It was a lot of land though. Why? You have no reason to need that. $650,000? That's stupid. Someone make it make sense. And so, again, these are reasons adamantly opposed to any increase in taxes. Because you just spend it in stupid ways. Bureaucrats can never manage to pull together. You have a bunch of people disagreeing in a room and they just have to come up with the best possible solution because all of them completely disagree. Yeah, well, that's a terrible solution. So thanks for wasting more of my money. I went to the most recent city council meeting. It was all right. There was no screaming and hollering. Of course, they vote to maintain the same person for property tax assessment as they previously did. There's no debate as to whether or not this person is a good pick or whether or not they're arbitrarily assigning property values or anything like that. They just say, go ahead. She's been doing it. She still wants to do it. Good. Keep her. Do that. It's asinine. As usual, there are no critical questions, no critical debate, nothing. It seems like an easy solution. Let's do it. Sick of it. Anyway, good things happen in Divine. We've got the Fall Festival coming up. We've got another cleanup this Saturday. I may or may not be at that cleanup. Didn't make it this weekend. I kind of limit myself to maybe 4 hours of volunteer work per month. It's just, I am so freaking busy on the farm. I don't know how people do it all the time. I do. I mean, they're retirees. They've got a lot of time in their hands. So my good friends, Steve and Sandy, they're recently retired. So they are full on. They're recently retired too. So they're still relatively young in the retiree community. And so they're just throwing a ton of time at it. And, hey, come on, Josh, come on, let's go do this or that. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't have that kind of time to give. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's, I like volunteering. I like volunteer stuff, but at a certain point, you might want to pay somebody because this volunteer ain't happening. I guard my time very closely because there's so little of it. Just Monday through Friday is working like a dog at work. And I don't have a physical labor job. Let me be clear about that. My physical labor's nights and weekends, which house is good enough now. I don't need to do the nights anymore, but still weekends just working. And during the week is the intellectual labor of having to deal with people and morons. But that's just an ongoing battle there that I have to deal with. Anyway, just things to kind of frame that for you there. Yeah, got a little too much noise happening around the car here in my mobile studio. So I'm not a big fan of just volunteering, but I am a fan of volunteering in general. So if you folks have the opportunity and you haven't given a few hours of your month, I'd ask you come on out and help clean up on Saturday. VFW is going to be sponsoring some of the events at the Fall Festival, and that's the weekend of the 6th of November. And they're going to have a whole bunch of stuff happening down there, a whole bunch of food trucks, beer, all kinds of stuff. And that same Saturday morning, they'll be having the what do they call it? The farmers market. And we're actually starting to get some really good stuff at the farmers market. So it's not a low budget farmers market anymore. Steve has put a ton of time and effort into this, and it is really turning out well. So strongly encourage you folks to come out. And that brings me on to my next thing. It's a cultural difference, I'd call it. And so Steve and I have been talking about this, and Sandy as well. It's Smith Pasture Farm, smithpasturefarms.com. So they do pasture poultry. For me, I really enjoy regenerative agriculture, but I just like making funny. I like making money because it's fun. This isn't something I do to make money. This is something I do because I enjoy just interacting with different people. I get folks reaching out to me online. I get folks reaching out to me on Float and Nextdoor saying, hey, I like that episode, ... Here's what I enjoyed. Or, hey, you tracking this? Or we just strike up a conversation. Oh, hey, I saw you on YouTube. And, I like what you have to say there. I'm really worried about these things. These things are frustrating me. I agree. Please come out and be a part of the city council. Please be a part of the county meetings if you're not in the city. Please go out and vote actively. Please let folks know who are your elected representatives what you think. All you have to do is make a little bit of noise. We get 20 or 40 people making some noise. They start saying, all right, if I'm hearing from this many, even the local representative, Gonzalez, here's 20, 40 people. Okay, probably get 1% of all people that are upset about this actually communicating with me. So might want to pay attention. That might start to represent a little bit of a blip on his radar of, that's a voting bloc that's not happy. I might want to change my voting, or I might want to maybe work on some messaging there and clarify things a little bit. Just things to think about there. And why I bring all this up is Steve is all about volunteer, make the city better. But I come from a different perspective of, I want the city to be better, but how much money's in this city? Sure, we can make it a little bit more appealing. We might be able to bring a few more people in, but what brings people in? Money. So I want the VFW to be profitable. I want the Chamber of Commerce to actually lobby for legislation within the city that makes it easier to be profitable. I want stuff to actually generate revenue, not just smiles and waves. And so that's the prerogative I apply to my daily life. And it's probably a family thing. My grandfather, both my grandfathers actually, until they were too ill to work and more or less ready to die, they were making money. That's just what they did. One was a hustler. He was always scavenging furniture and stuff like that and flipping it on in the newspaper classifieds. I mean, this was 30 years ago. And my other grandfather he'd be building houses or paying to build houses or buying lots to build houses or doing electrical work in houses. He was an electrician and an engineer that worked for a big manufacturing company that manufactured parts for rock crushers and trains and stuff like that. And that's just what he did for fun. Is you build stuff, you make money from stuff. He had a tree farm. That was for making money. He did all kinds of stuff just to make money, because then he donated a lot. Even when he died, he gave a significant amount of money to a Native American charity up in North Dakota. And that's how you make stuff better. Money. So that's the perspective I come at it from. Make as much money as you possibly can. Ethically, of course. I mean, you're not ripping people off or stealing food from orphans, but we're making money in ethical ways because we're good at making money. And there are folks that not so good at making money, but they're good at working, and they're good, honest people. It's not to say they're bad people, but they're really good at working. That's the value they bring to the table. And I see folks that you could make a lot of money. You've got good ideas. You've got the right mindset here that you could just, let's start a business. I don't want to do that. I don't understand. We could make so much money that we could just donate 10% of annual revenue to the VFW, and it would take care of all their upgrades for the next decade. It would be done. That's it. That sort of stuff perplexes me. I don't know. I'm curious you folks' thoughts. I'm curious, Michelle, if you want to reach out there, I'd like your thoughts as well, because I bet you would have some really good input right here. Anyway, folks, that's all I got for this week. Hope to see you out at the ballot boxes. Hope to see you voting. With that, take it easy.